Hello everyone and welcome to this special webinar. My name is Jason and my official title is Mackenzie Friend, but you could also call me a steadfast ally, a guiding hand and a relentless advocate for justice and fairness in family court. I've been doing this for 10 years, but before I get started on that, I just want to be clear on who this webinar is for. With that in mind, it's not for you at all if you're small-minded. It's not for you if you can't take responsibility. Any of your actions that may have been right or may have been wrong previously in your relationship. It's not for you if you entertain the blame culture. It's not for you if you don't want to pay for services. It's not for you if you think that hate wins and love loses. It is for you if you are open-minded enough to and peaceful enough to understand that relationships break down, and it's both people's responsibility to share that burden. It is for you if you are thinking of using a solicitor or a family lawyer or even a Mackenzie Friend if you're going to be paying for services going through family court. But you want to make sure you know who you're buying into. If you're thinking about Mackenzie Friends, then that's probably why you're watching this. That's why I'm doing this, because I know that there are many people who speak about me in a negative connotation. I've been doing this for 10 years, like I said a moment ago. Unfortunately, being one of the best Mackenzie Friends in the country, and that's an accolade that I have not said, but it's been said to me. As far as I'm concerned, that doesn't come without people trying to pull you down. And this is me being me at the forefront of meeting you in a virtual basis. I want you to understand who I am, understand me as a person. And if you don't understand me as a person, you can't build trust with me. To understand me as a person, you have to connect with me. And this is my little way of trying to do that and lead the market to change, because I am a physical person and I am here to support you. I stand before you to peel back the layers of something deeply personal to me and everybody, and universally resonant with everyone, and that's family. The purpose of this webinar, like I say, is for you to know me and understand me as a person, the person you may have working for you. This world of Mackenzie Friends is unregulated. I do favour regulation, which is why I'm pursuing extra education in the sense of law and psychology. But if you're considering using a Mackenzie Friend and you're spiralling through the underworld of Facebook groups and various Mackenzie Friend websites, I wanted to take this unique approach and introduce myself to you personally. And hopefully you'll leave this webinar equipped with some actionable advice, some clarity on some legal jargon, and the comfort of knowing that you're not alone. Hopefully you will see that I am genuinely here to help, and it's not by chance that our paths have crossed. I believe that in the stars and the moons and fate, and putting things into place for us when needed. This is an opportunity for you, and whether you take this opportunity is entirely up to you. This is scripted to give me some sort of direction, but I am known to come off script, and I will no doubt come off script. I believe in being authentically you, and that is the biggest and the first big message that I can give you. Being authentically you is the biggest strength you have in family court. We will go on and elaborate about that shortly. Actually, this is one message that I need to deliver straight away. If you are going through family court and thinking about being a litigant in person and self-representing, I salute you. It takes courage, determination, and more importantly, love. Sincere love is what you need to get through the coming months, maybe years. Love for your children, and the love your children or child have for you will carry you through. Many people think going into family court on the provision that they need to be the best and prove that they are better than the other parent. Let me tell you now, that fact is not even close to the truth. The fact that you are even in family court is a disaster. The court will take the view that you are both in this together, and one person's faults are both persons' faults. It always takes two. Being armed with this and authentically being yourself is vital to building a relationship with the court. If you are angry, that's fine, but that's not authentically you. That's a persona or an emotional feeling, actions which will result in actions that anger will not be best served in court. If I'm talking about being you, authentically you, when you're at peace and you're happy. Now, you would ask me right now, how are you supposed to feel this or do this? when you could be being homeless or losing your family home and you've got false allegations coming at you. The answers to this, I hope I can give you throughout the course of our relationship and the journey together going through this family court process. If you would have told me, or anyone would have told me 20, 30 years ago that I'd be standing here and helping people and helping you right now in family law, and I wouldn't have thought. It was not on my list of jobs to do, but that's where my calling has led, supporting individuals and families wade through the family law's emotional, legal and psychological tangles. How I got here is not by accident either, but let me first guide you down the labyrinth of my life, a life punctuated with soul-crushing lows and awe-inspiring highs. This story unfolded long before I graced a retail floor or entered a courtroom. It starts in the hallowed halls of my childhood home, where emotional neglect wasn't just the landscape, it was the air I breathed. Imagine a young child stranded in a house so emotionally barren that the notion of a birthday card or Christmas presents beyond adolescence becomes as elusive as grasping a falling star. That child, my friends, is me. The vacuum of emotional support could have crippled many spirits, but for me it serves as an unyielding fuel, an explosive force that ignites me and ignites an unquestionable desire to validate my worth. For a glimmering moment, it seems like I'm sprinting down the right road. Even in my tender years, I sense an unsettling truth. My family is an aberration. It's a vague sensation, at first a murky premonition, but then the day arrives, my brothers and I, elated. I have spent the day swimming. We have convened around the kitchen table celebrating that one birthday chorus. But the air is so thick and fraught that you'd think you could slice the tension like a loaf of bread. And just as we finish singing happy birthday, a cup hurls and projects across the room, returned with a plate slammed back in defiance. Doors slam and my mother finds sanctuary behind locked doors. That day also marks the end of my birthday celebrations. Within days, my parents unveiled the bitter truth. They were divorcing, and my life and my brother's lives were about to change forever. Now, if you've ever been the child of a fractured family, you know the gut-wrenching sensation of watching the pillars of your universe crumble into dust. Aged in endless corrosive fights, my life was never a fairy tale. I've spent nights in a refuge where snails crept up the walls as if mirroring our slow climb out of despair. But after that announcement, I'm free falling. I'm free falling without a parachute. And that Christmas was an emotional minefield. My mum soon packs up with her emotions afterwards and leaves, shifting the burden of the family substance onto the frail shoulders of my father, who was useless. That I felt it necessary to pick up the steps where he could not. I remember following my mother. I was in year 6 or 7 in primary school, hopping out of school, following her to her workplace, following her home to where she was staying in a bedsit in Pembroke Close, I believe it to be. And I was literally begging her to come home. She gave me £1 that day to feed my brothers because, as I was explaining to her, we had no money. My father was wasting all the money putting into a phone box, calling Malaysia. Back then they didn't have Tinder, they had postage. It was postage, all done by the post. And we had no money by the end of the weekend. And when you're smelling the fresh Sunday roast that's being cooked by your neighbours and you're left with cups of gravy for your Sunday roast. I found myself working down the market on a Friday morning before school. This was after my mum had come back to live in the home. They managed to, however they sorted it out, I don't know if they did family court or not, but she come back into their family home. She worked really hard to make sure that we were looked after and cared for. But she couldn't do as much as she did because she had a breakdown. She had a breakdown, and there becomes part of the journey. You find that I found that I was having to look after my family. But this is where I found my strength. I turned adversity into advocacy. I turn this hard times into positive times. I endure the heartbreak and I make sure that people don't feel that. And if they do, then we are moving through it as swiftly and as quickly as possible. This started soon after my first birthday party and the candle had been blown out. And ever since then, my life was in a swirling vortex, and I found myself in various positions of having to care for my siblings to prevent them going into foster care, juggling working on a market stall on a Friday before school, and then hopping on a bus to Bury St Edmunds to get to school. By dusk, I'm back, shutting down the market stall, clutching that £30, my first cash money, because what I realised was that I was able to escape with that £30. It graduated me to buy alcohol, and that graduated me to cannabis and eventually mind-altering substances like speed and ecstasy. Cocaine was later in the years. This relentless chase, though, for money transformed into a perilous coping mechanism, a quicksand pulling me into a darker abyss. My life takes a systemic shift during sociology studies in my GCSEs. There I confront a statistic that I did not agree with. It said that children from broken homes are doomed to blue-collar lives. Enraged with this and fueled my indignation and fueled my brazen act of just defying turning up to my sociology exam. There was no way in the world I was ever going to be put into that bracket. And because of that, that led to change. That led to me making sure, and in my mind, I don't know father to tell me any different, no person directing me to tell me any different, but I just felt that I had to work, and I worked through everything, from the bottom to the top, on every single business I worked in. What I soon learned was life never gives up, lets up. It pelts me with curveballs. It's pelts us all with curveballs, family relations, legal woes, the professional hurdles, but my tenacity remains unbreakable. I rise through the ranks from call centres to retail floors, eternally chasing that dangling carrot of excellence. Yet, in this relentless pursuit of external accolades, it spiraled me into more substance abuse, taking a toll on every aspect of my life, from family troubles, brushes with the law, a roller coaster of jobs from call centres to retail. But I was relentless in what I was striving for, and what I was striving for was to be the best at anything I did. With this void inside me, I did not stop. But what I did not stop on what I did. I took it too far with the illegal substances. And then I found this statistic, reinventing its massive head and highlighting the fact that I am a blue-collar worker from a broken family and I am destined to a life of mediocrity. That was, for me, no way. I am not going to be a cog in this machine. I refuse to be beaten by anything or anyone. And that is as far as what's brought me here today. But let's go back to the first summer holidays of the jobs when I was earning money. I was working in a massive fridge. One of the first jobs I ever had, and I met this guy called Terry, and he introduced me to ecstasy. Again, spiraled into a self-destruction because of what I was having to deal with at my family home. Money, it's this elusive thing that promises happiness. I showered it on my family, trying to fill their lives with comfort. We never had things that I was giving them, but then everything I was giving them, I kept feeling empty and emptier and emptier. I turned 16 after the summer holidays, and I went back to being in further education. I wanted to be an actor. My drama teacher would say things like, "Jason, take a deep breath, just take a deep breath, breathe, damn it." And like I say, I'm from a dysfunctional family. I was never going to be an actor. I didn't have the support I needed. But I did recognise myself, and I did realise that the statistics were potentially true. But I refused to be a waste collector like society had expected of me. But this was a turning point in my life when I defied social expectations. My answer was simple, like I said earlier, just work. Just keep working. Just work like there's no tomorrow. Work like you cannot work anymore. Even when life gave me curveballs, I had to keep going. My mum had a breakdown. I said I ended up dropping out of the sixth form and ended up working nights, in making filing cabinet drawers. Even to my merit there, I managed to be the best at that with the help of speed, no doubt, and extracurricular activities. But my family was suffocating me. My mum tried to end her life again with tablets that I had hidden. That was the last straw. I had to leave. Years flew by, and I'd become the maestro of the pub game and the retail mobile phone sales game, transforming failing stores and pubs into award-winning accolades. Check satisfaction? Far from it. Still not satisfied. Life led me to Carphone Warehouse, where again I excelled as a salesperson, only to find myself amidst of more chaos and substances. Then a friend opened a new door in the pharmaceutical regulatory affairs recruitment world. It should have been a dream, but it felt like inferior, like a fish out of water. Now, years into this journey, after all the ups and downs, I know where I belong. And it's not in an office, behind a desk. It's not out there in the field helping people, motivating them. It's here. It's here, and I am still figuring it out. And it's here, I'm clear. I won't be another statistic. I'm not another cog in the machine. I'll be the one that breaks the mold, no matter what it takes. Still, my journey ultimately ushers me back to my genuine passion. Empowering people, invigorating teams, pubs, corporate, pub game, corporate boardrooms. But all along the winding road, epiphanies hit you. Draws me to the real fulfillment that springs not from societal accolades or financial riches, but from deeply authentic connections with the world and the souls that inhabit it. Labyrinths of family law, you might be asking, why am I traversing this thicket? Well, that's a deep query worthy of a deep scrutiny. To answer, I invite you to enter the caverns of my odyssey, a trek that starts with the fallacious facade of what it means to be a man. The notion seared into me: work tirelessly, accumulate wealth, ascend the social ladder, and you've been fulfilled as your masculine role. But here's the paradox within that confines of a relationship: that feverish chase can be weaponized by a partner whose intent is your usurpation. Have you ever wrestled with an angry ex? If you have, then you'd understand the entanglements of ego, control, and absolute narcissism. Narcissistic abuse is an unwavering term, yet useless in terms of when you're wading through the dark, murky waters of relentless gaslighting, where your identity is eroded. You've got yet to grasp the horror. For years and years, that felt like an eternity for me. I did contend with the courtrooms, a decade littered with 7 varying cases between me and my ex-partner, when she attempted to extinguish my spirit. Oh, and those frivolous court appearances, a charade, it's all just a charade. It serves no purpose other than to drain you emotionally and financially. And the children, the innocent souls caught in the crossfire of I've dreamed of harmonious co-parenting relationships, but the mother of my child remains obstinate. The casualty in this is my daughter, the bystander to which theatre of conflict which she did not ask to be part of. Ladies and gentlemen, the ordeal has revelations. It's unveiled, it's illusory of these battles, but more importantly, it's unveiled to me what type of father I could be, what type of man I should be. The corrosive anger gnawing at me for 7 years had to dissipate for the sake of my daughter. Today, I stand before you, having fought through the labyrinth and emerged with a shared care order. It wasn't through a result of continuous litigations, nor the consumption of tens of thousands of legal fees. Instead, it was about strategic empathy, constructive resistance. Some advocates might say, enter the family court with that burning rage in your belly. I'm afraid I have to disagree, for that fire should be your eternal furnace, propelling you to rise, metamorphosis, and become your finest version of a parent that you can be. Owning your errors, ladies and gentlemen, is not an admission of defeat. It is a display of authenticity. It's a nod to our fragile humanity. And let me be clear, the journey through the family court is a harrowing rite of passage. It will test your resolve. It will scare you. But how you wield those scars makes all the difference. That's why you need someone like me to guide you, gently, walking with you. Just if your story mirrors mine, or you're besieged by complexities, betrayal of the system that seems relentlessly oppressive, I extend my hand. I've walked this path, I've guided others through it, and I can guide you through it, not by conventional means, but by a philosophy carved by adversity and vindicated by triumph. You don't have to suffer in silence. You have to be more than a statistic. In bearing the pain, you have paved the way for your future's for the future where your child respects you, not just as a parent, but as an exemplar of resilience and moral courage. You may wonder, what authority do I hold to guide you through this quicksand of family court? And that, my friends, is an essential inquiry. I found myself entangled in gnarled branches of family law, not as an impassive observer, but as a central participant. I've contended with 7 desperate cases over an arduous decade of marathon of legal wrangling with my ex-wife. But don't mistake this for more than survival. This is forged expertise wrought with the crucible of emotional and judicial combat that I've encountered, the catastrophic bureaucracy where filing a motion transmits into existential dilemmas. I've been led through revolving doors of courtroom appearance after courtroom appearance, a ceaseless cycle that neither serves justice nor child welfare, merely perpetuates itself. Non-molestation orders, shared care orders. I've skimmed through these terms in law books and lived them. I learned them. Each court summons is an invitation to a battlefield where I was both the general and the foot soldier. You see, the decisions I made in that courtroom didn't merely ink paper. They shaped my daughter's life in immediate ways and a long-lasting legacy. Each case, each document, each judicial decision was a brushstroke on the complex tapestry of my relationship with my child. I've seen the system from the inside out and navigated the intricacies that even veteran lawyers find perplexing. The £30,000 to £50,000 that families often sacrifice, I've devised pathways through the morass that cost far less, but yield far more. And herein lies the point. Experience has been my harshest teacher and my greatest mentor. My journey through family court has become a roadmap for others, men and women, mothers and fathers, ensnared in the same intricate web. Each mistake I've made has become a lesson for dozens, hundreds. Each victory a beacon of hope for hundreds, thousands. I've imparted the most crucial skills, emotional mastery, which is often overlooked, yet is a linchpin of your court journey. In this process, I'm not merely a guide or a Mackenzie friend. I'm a fellow traveller who has scouted the terrain, identified the traps, and emerged scathed but wiser. The family court is more than a judicial institution. It's a crucible for human transformation. The scars I've gained, they are merely skin deep. They are carved caverns of wisdom, reservoirs of sagacity, and I'm keen to share. When I assist families through the daunting process, we're doing more than securing favourable rulings. We're reclaiming human dignity and rewriting future generations. If you find yourself at the threshold of this journey, going through family court, remember, you need not walk alone. My experience, trials and victories form blueprint for your success. And it's a blueprint I offer not as a detached observer, but as a warrior who has emerged through the battle, not unscarred, but not unbroken, but continually growing. I'm pursuing a BA honours in law and psychology, enriching my practical experience with my academic rigour. It's a powerful combination that enables me to provide insightful, well-rounded support. My mission is an audacious one, but it's very straightforward. I aim to help 1 billion people save money and emotional and mental bandwidth. As they make this journey through family court, I will not only make it easier for them to take the emotional burden, but I do this because at the heart of every case, at the heart of every hearing, at the heart of every judgment, there are children who need stability and love. Parental alienation, allegations of abuse, communication breakdowns, you name it, I've seen it. And the crucial thing is that these things are not just cases to me. These are real lives. These are authentic relationships that deserve the best chance of a positive outcome. So if you're ready to reclaim and secure a better future for your children and find a confidant that will not only stand by your side, I will work by your side, and I invite you to join me on this transformative journey. Let's navigate the family court system with purpose, resolve, compassion, and vigour together. Yes, people will have different opinions of me, but no one, unless they are being wholeheartedly honest with you, will give you the 100% truth. This is a murky game that you are in. You need someone who is known in the family court process, who is known in the courts, someone with a positive reputation, which is why people try and pull me down. People are almost guaranteed for a positive outcome when they're working with me. Let me explain. For more information on some of the plans I offer, there should be a link somewhere on this page and allows you to get in touch with me. There should be a link set up somewhere or a phone number available to go directly to my website and order directly from there. I would prefer that because I'm rubbish at selling my services, because I used to sell snow to an Eskimo, but I'm rubbish at selling my services for some reason. That's just part of it. So I'm looking forward to working with you and supporting you through this journey, because I believe this wholeheartedly, that everybody has a story to tell and everybody has a value to add. And your story will help get other people through similar to what you're going through, and one story to another story to another story, and you will guide someone. And I believe that with support and love that I can give you, once you've got through this battle, this huge hurricane battle, I believe that you've got your life story to tell, and that will then serve somebody else, their life story to tell, and that will give someone else their confidence to talk about their life story. And my purpose within all of this is to help you get your purpose and find your roadmap on the journey of life. So this is something that I feel really strongly about, and I want you to share your experience with me, and I will help you find a positive outcome for it. The negative stuff we can get away with. We can't, this is the painful thing you're going through, but I will turn those negatives into positives with you. Together we can work through this. Together we can find the positives. And together we will make sure that you have the same relationship that I have with my daughter. I have a relationship with my daughter which is the pinnacle of what we all want from this. We don't want to lose touch with our children. And if you've made it this far, you're part of the 0.1% of the population that when they start something like me, you won't finish until you get what you just deserve and what you believe to be the best for you. That is the mindset you need, is if you're coming on board with me. And this won't be for everyone. I don't appeal to everybody, and I get that. And the people I don't appeal to, well, they sit in the sidelines slagging me off. Those that do, they get positive outcomes in family court. I look forward to hearing from you. Take care.